Oh, hey there. This is Attempting International Recipes, and in this episode, I'm making Ukrainian borscht. I personally have never actually had borscht before, so I'm very excited to try this recipe. When I searched for a borscht recipe, I noticed that there are a lot of regional variations. It's very popular in Eastern Europe and with Slavic countries. There's going to be a Russian borscht, a Ukrainian borscht, a Polish borscht. There's a lot of different variations. This one that I picked, I could verify was from an actual Ukrainian recipe site. It seemed to be the easiest one for me to follow. This one's also a vegetarian version. I did not want to try a meat version. And I always forget to say this. The whole premise of this series is that I am not a professional chef. I'm just a regular cook traveling the world from my kitchen. There will be cooking fails and cooking triumphs in this series. Someday I'll remember to say that at the start. Now, I've gone onto Wikipedia to see if there's anything really interesting about the history of borscht, and it says borscht derives from an ancient soup originally cooked from pickled stems, leaves, umbels of common hogweed, a herbaceous plant growing in the damp meadows, which lent the dish its Slavic name. All right. With time, it evolved into a diverse array of tart soups, among which the Ukrainian beet-based red borscht has become the most popular. The distinct part about borscht seems to be that it uses beet and is tart. All right, well, this borscht has quite the challenge today because I have someone in my house who despises beets. I mean, they truly hate beets and anything that has beet in it. Now, I have a similar aversion to like cilantro. I'm one of those people, when I taste cilantro, it tastes like soap. This person says all beets taste like dirt. We're gonna have to see if we can overcome that reaction here. There is a medium-sized beet in this. It's already staining the bag. I'm wondering if I need gloves to handle this thing. The recipe I got was off of Sava's Kitchen, which is a Ukrainian blog with different recipes on it. The woman who runs this was born in Ukraine and moved to the United States. Okay, so this is what I was a little confused on because it says this was uploaded by Natalia, but it's called Sava's Kitchen. Savas is a shortened version of her maiden last name. All right. Well, Natalia, I'm excited to try this. I personally do not have anything against beets, so I'm looking forward to this dish. I have all of my green ingredients to the side here. This dish takes so many different types of vegetables. It's kind of wild, and I do really like this, and I kind of wonder if this is like a cultural thing. This recipe says all of the equipment I need. Very specifically, they have a thing where you need 5 separate bowls. And you'll see what happens with that. I really appreciate that because there's a ton of recipes that don't list what you need equipment-wise, and then it's an issue later on. All right, step 1, it says rinse and peel all the vegetables and prepare 5 bowls. So let's get to peeling all of these. Now's a great time to tell you that I'm not wearing a Ukrainian apron today. I have not been to Ukraine, and I would love to have a Ukrainian apron, but I have one my grandma made me. It's seen better days. It's been ripped on the side, but since I didn't have a Ukrainian apron, I had to go with one of the other sentimental ones in the house. I do have a towel that has a bunch of beads on it, so hopefully that's enough to bring me some good luck with making borscht. All right. Please don't stain my hands. We're just going to chop and peel all of these. I wonder if I should, okay, yeah, this is looking like it's gonna stain the nice cutting board. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna, for this beet, cut this on a plastic one, treating this like it's a biohazard. Yeah, it already stained my hands. Great, this is gonna be fun. Put that over there for now. Go deal with this in the trash can. onion has been essentially peeled. Three to four potatoes. Two medium carrots. All right, we have peeled all of these vegetables. There's quite a bit. The only one I'm scared of is the beet because of all of its staining dye abilities. So step one has quite a bit to it, and it says, rinse and peel all the vegetables, prepare 5 bowls. Got 5 bowls, got all the veggies peeled. Dice the onion and place it in the first bowl. All right, I've got my quarantined beet over here. How much onion? I think it's half an onion. Half an onion, place it in the first bowl. Next it says shred the carrots and cut the bell peppers into matchsticks, then transfer them into the second bowl. All right, we have matchsticked our bell pepper. That is in the second bowl with the shredded carrots. Next it says shred the beetroot and plate it in the third bowl. So I have the beet here. I'm gonna do the potato part first because this beet is so pigmented. I'm trying not to stain things. We're gonna deal with that thing later. We are going to instead keep the potatoes and add them to the fourth bowl. All right, we have cubed 4 potatoes. Lastly, we need half a cabbage and we need to shred it, I believe. There is a ton of shredded cabbage. And finally, this beet. All right, I am not even gonna shred this thing over here. I will be back with a shredded beet. I'm gonna shred it on the countertop. That's not gonna stain. All right, if you make this, I would highly recommend you do the beet shredding in like a food processor or something. That hand's going to be beet red for quite a while. Okay, with that, we have step 1 done. That was just step 1. So, next we need to, in a large pot, add water, bay leaf, and bring to a boil. When it boils, turn it to the lowest heat and let it simmer. Let's head over to the other side of the kitchen. All right, now this recipe does not say how much water we actually need. We have to boil potatoes in this later, so I will, for now, just put it back here. I think it has enough to boil the potatoes in it. We'll let that get to a boil. Oh, no, that one. Got that. 1 bay leaf. We need to heat oil in a large frying pan over medium heat. Add onions, carrots, and bell peppers. All right. We're gonna just give that a good glug of olive oil. All right, we're supposed to put the onions and then the bell pepper and carrots. We're supposed to cook these for about 3 to 4 minutes, so I'll start a timer right now. Next, we're gonna add in the beetroot and 1 tablespoon, I think, of tomato paste. About that, yeah. And the beetroot. God, this stuff. I think this might be one of the most difficult ingredients to cook with just because of how much it stains. Add shredded beetroot and tomato paste. Cook for another 2 to 3 minutes or until the tomato paste is aromatic. All right, this next part, you're essentially supposed to taste it and kind of like see how much sugar and lemon juice to add in to balance it. Seeing as how I've never had borscht before, we're going to see if I can do that. All right. Oh, that's pretty yummy. Okay, teaspoon of lemon, and then it's kind of sounding like essentially a pinch of sugar. I'm gonna stir that. I'm gonna see if it tastes balanced per se, and then after this, I'm supposed to add a 1/3 cup of water, cover this, and let it simmer for 6 to 8 minutes. That's good. Why is it? That's really good. That didn't taste like. I thought it was gonna be one of those things where it like tastes super healthy, like just veggies. No, it's delicious. All right, we're gonna put that over this, and in this pot back here, we are gonna add the cabbage and potatoes and let it cook for about 10 minutes. All right, I am just waiting for the pot back here to come to a boil. We're very close, and then I can add the cabbage and potatoes. I'm gonna go ahead, you know what? I'll add them in because this is supposed to be simmering, and this is supposed to cook for another 10 minutes until the potatoes get tender. All right, while that all is cooking up, get some spare time, so I am gonna go ahead and chop the parsley and dill. I have a bit of an aversion to dill after I went to Latvia, and I went to Latvia for a little over a week for work, and we were being hosted, and the hotel had like a buffet every day for everyone. I was kind of like a conference thing, and they would put dill on literally everything. And so for 1 week straight, all I could taste was dill. And it slowly drove me insane. Even now I'm smelling it and I'm like, smells like 1 week in Latvia. I actually really like Latvian food. It's just a whole week of dill, and I'm not very, I wouldn't say prior to going, I was not dill adverse. But when it's the only seasoning for an entire week, I started to go crazy. I'm actually gonna go ahead and move the pot we're actually making the soup in up because this is a much bigger burner. We're supposed to do this till the potatoes are tender. I'm gonna go ahead and take that bay leaf out of there. I'll forget otherwise, and then someone's gonna end up eating a bay leaf. They could definitely go a little longer. All right, now we add the beetroot vegetable mix, salt, coriander, paprika to the pot, stir, cover, simmer on low heat, avoid boiling for another 3 to 4 minutes. We've let this boil for a little bit longer, or simmer for a bit longer. It hasn't really boiled. I've let the potatoes cook a bit more because I felt like they weren't really tender enough yet. Taste the soup, add more salt, pepper, lemon juice, or sugar if needed. This thing needs salt. We haven't added salt at all yet. I'm gonna start by adding a tablespoon of salt because it really just doesn't have much to it at the moment. I don't have anything tangy coming through with it yet. Let's see if we need to add more lemon. More salt. I might have started with too much water, and that's why it just needs dramatically more salt. Teaspoon of that. I do think it needs, there's absolutely no tang, and everyone has described this as being a tangy soup, so I'm gonna put 1 spoon of lemon juice in. That's good. That's tangy. Not quite like sauerkrauty, but it's tangy. Now we're supposed to add our freshly chopped dill and parsley, which is right here. And then garlic to the pot. Okay. I'm gonna do a big spoon of garlic because I like garlic. Put that in. And then we're gonna turn off the heat and let it stand for 10 to 15 minutes. Oh, I almost forgot the paprika and stuff. Oh, I was supposed to add that back when I added the beetroot. Okay, let's add in paprika and coriander. All right, we have let this set for 10 minutes, covered, no heat. I have about the only bowls left in my house since this required so many at the start. I'm gonna take a big spoon of this. Gorgeous color. All right, got 2 scoops of this, and then it says it's best served with a dollop of sour cream on top. I also have some bread toasting for dipping in here. Now they said a large dollop, so I'm putting a big dollop on here. Alrighty, and this, take a look at that. This is Ukrainian borscht. Now let's give this a taste. I'm going to mix in some of that sour cream. Ooh. I really like it with the sour cream. I had just been tasting the broth to season it. And the broth by itself is delicious, but it's something special with that sour cream in there. Oh my gosh. That is delicious. It really doesn't have a strong beet flavor or anything. It's just really well balanced. If you want to try this recipe, I'll have it linked down in the bio. I highly recommend checking out Sava's Kitchen. She had tons of delicious looking recipes, including this vegetarian borscht, which is just phenomenal, actually. Really, really good. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Fruit Salad Social YouTube channel for more travel, international, and spooky content. I'll see you next time. Bye!